I moved my family from Seattle market all the way across the country to a town called Arlington, Tennessee. Why in the world would I do that? And I'm going to go through in this video why it is the best place to live in Greater Memphis and why you should consider it if you're coming to the area. My name is Garth Ward. If you're trying to come to the area and you want all of the pros and cons, or you're trying to leave the area and get out of Dodge, or you're being relocated, click the link in the description and we can have a conversation, or you can text or call me at 253-737-8018. Without further ado, let's get straight into why we chose this area. One of the driving factors, I think, for a lot of people and what they care about for their family is going to be the schools. And the schools in Lakeland and Arlington, which are effectively the same town, they're not, but they are really good. They're highly rated, they get good academic scores, and they rate very high across all of General Tennessee. Another really interesting thing about it is that it is a small town feel with a big city availability. You get access to the main thoroughfares within a 10-minute driving distance from anywhere inside of the town, and that allows you access to downtown Memphis in less than 40 minutes, regardless of where you are. That's super important. Now, low population allows you to have things like less density. Most lots for houses are a quarter acre or a half acre. They're substantially larger, and you cannot hand a coffee pot to your neighbor through your own window. I think that's super important. It's also very safe. There's very low levels of crime in this area, and it is very family oriented with tons of churches basically anywhere that you can turn. It is a very good place to raise a family. There's a lot of new construction availability and a lot of infrastructure growth as well. When it comes to making a quality investment where you're choosing to live, it's important to pick an area that's likely to continue to grow, to continue to add new services. And that's exactly what's happening in Arlington right now. It is the hub for being next to the new Blue Oval, and it also just added in a Kroger, a Chipotle, several different shopping centers and strip areas that allow for new food options. And there are great local hangout spots like Brendele or Owner's Box. And if you're trying to get exactly where you would go to eat, those are some of those areas. There is great fishing opportunities, and you're still very close to Shelby Farms, which is an over 600-acre area, but you're not right next to it like you are in Cordova. And there's more crime there. Yes, there's lower taxes, but the taxes in Arlington and Lakeland are still extremely low, and the affordability of homes here is very attainable. When you're looking at prices that range from about $300,000 to $1 million, there's a lot of variety and availability for you regardless of your potential budgetary restrictions. And I think that's super important. The ability for this town to consistently grow is there. When you look at the other options and you're looking at maybe suburbia Memphis, you might be looking at Germantown and Collierville, which I did as well. But the problem with those areas are that they're $100,000 more expensive for effectively the same home. And there is very low likelihood and a comparison metric that it is going to consistently grow and appreciate at the same rate because there's not going to be new infrastructure coming. There's not the availability of land for new construction to go there. So in 5 to 10 years, we're going to see a market center that looks at both of those city options, and you have to compare and contrast them. Which one is newer? Which one has newer services? Which one has newer buildings? Which one has newer grocery stores? And the answer is going to point to Arlington and Lakeland. It has newer schools, newer services, newer commercial spaces, newer roads. All of it is going to be newer, which would lead you to realize that the prices are going to grow as well. It also has continued expansion of new construction housing, which allows for lots of options. If you're trying to buy a new construction house, again, let me know. You do want a representative in that process because there are a lot of different pitfalls that can come into play, like not getting inspections, not doing proper blue tape walkthroughs, not understanding the construction process and how you should be basically fighting for yourself to make sure that it's done properly while the house is being built. Another thing that's super important, at least it was to us, is that we were going to be in an area that focused on community. And Arlington is definitely a place that does that, with regular farmers markets, with regular times that people meet up, regular festivals and live music shows. It is very difficult to compete with that from a community perspective. I think if you are considering Memphis or you have to be moving to Memphis, you have to. This is not even an option. You have to be considering Lakeland and Arlington as a potential option for you as long as your budget allows. I would be happy to walk you through all of the specifics, all of the day-to-day, but your kids are going to have access to good sports recreation. You're going to have good access to churches, schools. You're going to have good access to the freeways if you have to commute. To me, it's an all-around city, and it's everything that you would want out of a small town because you're not too far from everything else. It also only puts you 2 to 2.5 hours away from downtown Nashville. That saves quite a bit of a commute if you're trying to get into the big city. I think it's an amazing opportunity for you to check into. I think it's number one.